Alright, so here's what you're going to need to know in order to full audition to thinking that you've played Bayonetta 2. Oh my god, let me tell you just how much I love this game. I like it a lot. Though this is mainly due to the main character, Bayonetta, who still in this entry is just as powerful and confident as she was in the first entry. Click here for that game's lore, hey. And while at the time of writing this, Bayonetta 2 is exclusively for the Wii U, the recent announcement of Bayonetta 3 will be giving us support of the first and second game to the Nintendo Switch. But with all that in mind, here's what you're gonna need to know. Alright, so a little bit of development lore for you. This game wouldn't have existed had Nintendo decided not to publish it, as Sega was unwilling to produce it due to having its focus shifted to more important titles, like Sonic. But we start our story a few months after the events of Bayonetta 1. We see Bayonetta looking as fly as ever, and Enzo still looking crusty as hell, but not even she can take a holiday off, as angels begin to rear their ugly heads. During the fight, one of Bayonetta's summons goes AWOL, and Jean takes a hit to save Bayo.
He needs some milk!
As all witches signed a pact with Inferno, her soul is quickly dragged down to the fiery pits. You give your dog a quick smack for its behavior, and then it's off to save John before her soul is consumed. Oh yeah, and there's some cool ranch Dorito dude involved, but we'll get to that later. To Europe! Bayonetta heads to the sacred mountain of Fimbulventa, where the real gates of heaven and hell are said to be located. Upon landing in and almost swishing one of the locals, oh my god! Psych! This is a local who you'll meet later as Loki, a user of an odd power called the Remembrance of Time. He's also on his way up the mountain, but has no recollection of what he needs to do up there. Let me give you a hint, it's cause he's God! Well, not really, but we'll get to that later.
Bloody hell.
You begin heading up the mountain fighting angels and now demons this time around, and with the occasional fight with the masked Lumen Sage, who has great makeup sense, look at them. You eventually reach the pits of Inferno where Jean is held, and have to face off against the demon of Dementia, Alarine.
I don't know what you did to piss her off, but whatever it was, nice.
I don't have a joke here, I just really like this cutscene. You want some popcorn? I'm gonna have some popcorn. You eventually rip her a new one and reunite Jean to her body, but the masked Lumen Sage is still in pursuit of Loki, and Mama Bayo rushes in to save the day. And we get to find out that the masked Lumen Sage was none other than a young version of Baldur from the past. But Loki's powers go haywire and sends him back to the past, to the Witch Hunt era to be exact, and Bayonetta meets up with her mother for some mother-daughter bonding.
Mom, do you ever feel, not so fresh?
But, unfortunately, it's all in vain, as the young version of the Prophet is able to kill Rosa regardless. Bayonetta tells Baldur the truth on who really killed Rosa, and they both head back to the present to confront the Prophet, who we also find out is one half of the original god of creation, a seer, the other half being Loki. The original god of humanity decided that humans deserve their own free will, for some god-awful reason. And gave them the power over creation. The Prophet, being consumed by darkness, wants the power for himself. And even though Bayonetta and Baldur try to fend him off, he's able to get the upper hand. Now that he has both the right eye and the left eye of creation, he's returned to his full power. But Loki has one trick left up his sleeve. The power of a seer is to destroy anything and everything, even the very eyes that created them. So now that the Prophet has his power taken away, you beat him senseless into next week. He gets munched on for a bit, and we're done. Not quite. His soul is still intact and is attempting to flee into another time. Baldur intercepts and is able to contain him, but the evil begins to consume him and he gets pulled into the past. They say their last goodbyes, and the evil inside him causes him to begin the event of the first game. Loki disappears to God knows where. No, yeah, really, we never get clarification on that. And the game ends much like the first, right back where we started. Alright, I know I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but I absolutely adore this game series. The gameplay is over the top and crazy, and Bayonetta is still a fantastic character. I mean, just look at her!
Yeah! Woo!
But if you want to learn more about this game and its story, then I implore you to play the full game. That's it from me. Bye-bye!
Let's dance, boys!
Moon river, wider than a mile, I'm crossing you in style.